Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome to the sacred journey of Kal Mantra, Embrace Divine Grace. Let the celestial vibrations uplift your spirit and guide you toward inner peace, abundance, and divine blessings. Open your heart, chant with devotion, and awaken the infinite grace within you.
You know, down in the sacred city of Haridwar in India, there's a story making the rounds that seems to just bend the rules of time itself. It's a legend about a man who's supposedly watched centuries come and go, and, get this, might still be walking among us today. So let me just ask you this straight up. Do you think it's possible for a man from the 12th century to still be seen alive and well in 2024? Now, for most of us, that sounds like something straight out of a movie. But a recent event has dragged this absolutely incredible claim right back into the spotlight. That's a quote from a disciple in Haridwar from this year. He claims he saw a towering figure well over 9 feet tall. And according to the legend, this wasn't just some random giant. This was supposedly a saint who was thought to have vanished from the physical world a long, long time ago. So who is this mysterious figure? Well, the man at the heart of this incredible legend is known as Kamaraj Baba, and his story, let me tell you, is one of the most extraordinary tales in all of Indian spiritual history. Yeah, you're seeing that right. According to these accounts, Kamaraj Baba isn't just some ordinary holy man. He's considered an immortal guru, an Amar guru, who is said to be over 800 years old. He's seen as living proof of a spiritual power that can actually transcend mortal life. Okay, so here's the backstory. The legend says Kamaraj Baba was given the gift of immortality by the god Shiva himself. He was a fierce devotee of the goddess Kali, and she supposedly commanded him to build the famous Dakshina Kali temple in Haridwar. Then, way back in the year 1219, he's said to have just vanished. But the story doesn't end there. The belief is that he still exists, but in a kind of subtle, energetic form, and he only reveals himself to very select followers. But the story of how he built his temple? This is where things take a really shocking and honestly pretty macabre turn. It is a foundation story unlike anything you've ever heard. The Dakshina Kali Mandir, which is a major place of worship today, is said to be built on a foundation of 108 human skulls. And the legend is very, very specific about how this was done. The story lays out this unbelievable 4-step ritual. First, Kamaraj Baba would supposedly find deceased people in the river. Then, using his tantric powers, he'd bring them back to life just long enough to explain his divine mission, to build a temple for the goddess Kali. He would ask for their consent, and once they agreed to be part of this sacred sacrifice, their skulls would become the literal foundation of the temple. Just wow. But the legend of Kamaraj Baba doesn't just stop with one temple built in a pretty shocking way. No, the claims go much, much further. They suggest that his influence created a spiritual lineage that would go on to shape modern Hinduism as we know it. And right here, this might be the most astounding claim of all. The legend proposes a direct line of gurus stretching across 8 centuries. It connects the 12th century Kamaraj Baba to his disciple Totapuri, who then taught the famous 19th century mystic Ramakrishna, whose #1 disciple was Swami Vivekananda himself, the man who basically introduced Hinduism to the Western world. So this lineage creates a direct link between 2 of the most important Kali temples in all of India. You've got the one in Haridwar, founded by Kamaraj Baba himself, and then you have the one in Kolkata, where his spiritual great-grand disciple Ramakrishna was the head priest and had his own world-famous visions of the goddess. And this is why the legend doesn't just paint him as some reclusive saint. It frames him as a master teacher, a guru's guru. He's said to have kicked off the spiritual journeys of founders of tons of other major spiritual centers all across India, from Tarapith and Delhi to the famous Kamakaya temple. So, all of that brings us right back to where we started. Back to that disciple who, in 2024, claims he saw a 9-foot-tall saint. So, why now? What could this possibly mean after all this time? Well, according to scholars who study and interpret these kinds of events, this sighting is anything but random. They believe it's a deliberate signal, a really profound message about our changing world. This event is being seen as the start of a prophecy. It's called the Return of the Sages. The core idea is that these ancient, immortal saints who've been meditating in seclusion up in the Himalayas for centuries are now getting ready to come back down and re-engage with humanity to offer some much-needed guidance. So what's the ultimate meaning being pulled from this? Well, the interpretation you'll find in the source material is that Kamaraj Baba's appearance is a sign of a new spiritual era, a time when the principles of Sanatana Dharma, often called the eternal path or are predicted to have this huge resurgence of influence, not just in India but all across the globe. So whether you take all this as literal fact or as a really powerful metaphor, the story of Kamaraj Baba makes us ask a pretty fascinating question. In our world of fast-moving, disposable information, what does it mean for a story, an 800-year-old legend, to not only stick around, but to feel more alive and more relevant than ever before? Makes you think, doesn't it?
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Are you battling constant stress, facing financial roadblocks, struggling in relationships, or stuck in your career? Harness the power of authentic Rudraksh, powerful planetary remedies, and timeless Vedic astrology. Limited stock, don't miss out. Visit kalmantra.com today to restore balance, invite abundance, and transform your life.